evening. This is the meeting of March 22nd, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to applicable portions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law, adequate notice of this meeting has been given. This meeting is posted on the bulletin board located in the corridor of this building and published in the newspapers on January 13th, 2021. Councilman Burns will lead in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilman Bacchione.
Here.
Councilwoman Gingrich.
Present.
Councilman Signorelli.
Present.
Councilman Buccio.
Here.
Councilman Gross.
Here.
Council President Guadagno.
Here.
He's ill.
He's here.
He's here.
He's not ill.
on the phone.
His daughter's.
I'm here.
Oh,
Council Vice President Burns.
here.
Excuse me, through the chair, and I believe the mayor is on the phone too, it's just for the record.
And anyone else on the phone?
Mayor,
I am here. Hear me or no?
just confirming,
I
thank
hear
you.
you, Angela. Okay. Good. Council President, how are you?
Item 3A, the mayor has a proclamation for National Library Week, April 4 to April 10. Councilman Buccio will read the proclamation.
Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, this is Office of the Mayor Proclamation, March 22nd, 2021. Whereas libraries are not just about what they have for people, but what they do for and with people. And whereas libraries have a long-served and trusted and treasured institutions, and library workers and librarians fuel efforts to better their communities, campuses, and schools. And whereas librarians are leaders in their institutions and organizations, in their communities, in the nation, and in the world. And whereas librarians continue to lead the way in leveling the playing field for all who seek information and access to technologies. And whereas libraries and librarians look beyond their traditional roles and provide transformative opportunities for education, employment, entrepreneurship, empowerment, and engagement, as well as new services that connect closely with patrons' needs. And whereas libraries are pioneers in supporting democracy and affecting social change, with a commitment to providing equitable access to information for all library users regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender, identity, or socioeconomic status. And whereas libraries, librarians, library workers, and supporters across America are celebrating National Library Week, April 4th through the 10th, 2021. And now, therefore, on behalf of Mayor Carmen Amato of Berkeley Township, along with the Township Council, wish to thank and commend all staff of the library and encourage all residents to visit their library online to access resources and services during National Library Week.
Thank you.
Thank you
If
very
council go down
much.
for a photo and present it. Come on, Sophia. Back you on.
Gonna bring everybody down.
Well, everybody's gonna go down.
Yeah.
You can wait up here if you
I'll
want.
wait here.
You guys, not the hired.
Well, that was nice. Thanks.
Jesus.
He really likes me.
Me too.
Well, that's like sorry, not sorry.
Councilman Bush.
Remember that day?
Yes.
Sorry, not sorry?
Proclamation and echo the sentiment that we appreciate all the local libraries, our Ocean County libraries, especially our very own Bayville Library. And, earlier this month was a Read Across American Day in our schools. Obviously, with COVID, it was very limited, but our libraries are a wonderful resource. And, hopefully more of our residents will take advantage of using our local library.
You don't have to worry, for the most part, about people smiling at their local.
Thank you. You want to say anything?
Yeah, I'll say it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Mayor Amato, and thank you, Berkeley Township, for your support of the library. It is always appreciated. This year, National Library Week is April 4th through 10th. Marking National Library Week is a great way to remind our community of the library and the many resources the library has to offer. Even during COVID-19, the library has provided our residents with free Wi-Fi and computer access, digital and print materials, and virtual and take-home programming. Our take-and-make crafting kits have been particularly successful. Each month, the library provides a variety of take-and-make crafts designed for different age groups, adults, teens, and children. These kits have served as an important creative outlet and self-care relaxation activity during the pandemic and stay-at-home restrictions. Our Wi-Fi and computer services have also been essential to help our residents apply for jobs, social services, and provide a space to work on virtual school and work, especially when the home proves too distracting or confining. Please visit your local Berkeley Library, and we appreciate your continued support. Thank you.
Thank you. Ocean County does have the best library system around. So you didn't get rid of Dr. Seuss, did you? It's the only book I read. Thank you. Discussion by administration?
Thank you, Council Vice President. The first item, number 4A, is authorization to advertise and receive bids for replacement of two, should just be 10-ton rooftop units at the Volunteer Community Center. It's on the official agenda as item number 14.2, and it's just a regular maintenance. They seem to have reached their useful life, and we're going to go out to bid and see what it costs to get the new ones. Item B, I believe the mayor would like to speak to.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator and Council Vice President Burns. This is a annual uniform shared services agreement with Berkeley Township Board of Education to provide 4 police officers, 1 at each of the elementary schools during school hours to provide school security. And this is just ratifying the provisions of the agreement that was negotiated between our local PDA, our township, and the local school districts. And this carries on the tradition that we started back in late 2012 and solidified in 2013. That we, since 2013, we had a full-time police officer in our schools, one of the first towns in the state of New Jersey to do that. And this will keep that program going through the 21-22, through the 22-23, and through the 23-24 school years. So it's a great thing that we're happy to participate in and provide the parents peace of mind. And it actually has been working out really great over the years. And I'm sure Deputy Chief Santucci can elaborate what it is. It gets the students in the schools familiarized to see police officers in a nice setting where they become, they're able to, coordinate between each other, communicate between each other, and it just gives a sense of, gives the youngsters in the schools a sense of confidence that they're, the police officers are there for their security. And over the years, we picked up some tips from students, letting the police officers know that there may be something going on or something they need to know. That it's just been a wonderful program, and we're glad to continue it at least for the next 3 years. And I believe that on the official, item 14.3.
Thank you, Mayor. Letter C.
Does Deputy Chief want to say something, just how this works? It is one of the only
No, I'll
things
just say I
like
think
it in the
mayor
state.
has made the relationships better with with the students and the officers, and a lot of the officers have whether children or other family members or friends in the schools. So I believe they put it out to a vote to the parents a couple of years ago just to see if they want to continue, and all the parents overwhelmingly approved that they wanted to continue it. So.
And this agreement is at a discounted rate. All right, thank you.
Yeah, it's not their normal rate.
Yeah, thank you for what they do there.
And letter C is authorizing receipt of bids for the stabilization project at the Manitou Schoolhouse. It's on the official agenda as item number 14.4. And if I could just take a minute, administration is really happy to see this finally happening. As everybody knows, it's been a long time coming, lots of different ideas for what should be done or could be done over there. At this point, the property's been secured just with some construction fencing. Animals that were in the building from sitting have been cleared out, and this first phase of actual construction will not be the actual rehabilitation back into the original historic. It'll be a smaller construction, as the title says, stabilization, because the building has become so deteriorated that there's really basic work on the roof, the walls, to take off a little addition that was not part of the original building, to do some repairs inside so that the entire building can be safely accessed. And then there'll be a separate time to go out to bid for the actual final restoration back to its original historic, the way it was built at the beginning. So we're excited to see this project moving, and plans have just been finished for the stabilization phase, so we're excited to go out to bid and see where it comes in. Thank you. Mayor?
John, you might want to add that we did receive a historical grant from the state of New Jersey in excess of, I believe, and it's close to 700,000, or I don't have the.
It's definitely over 600,000. It's 600 and some dollars, 600 and some thousand.
649, right? 649,000.
That sounds about right. And thank you for that, Mayor. And there's another 500,000 to 600,000 that also would not be coming from taxpayer dollars and would instead be coming from a not-for-profit developer that builds affordable housing over in Manitou, has done several phases, Homes for All, and we have an agreement with them where they'll be giving the township money for certain lots that they're going to use that were township-owned for the next phase of their development. So it's nice to be getting this money to restore this old schoolhouse, which definitely has a lot of history behind it, and not with by using the grant money and the money from the developer.
Yep. Yeah, this is a very unique and wonderful public-private partnership. As John has mentioned, we have a great relationship with Homes for All, which is building workforce housing and affordable housing in the Manitou Park section. So it's a really great partnership, and we're looking forward to continuing that partnership in the future. In the interim, as was mentioned, between the grant and the $500,000 that we're going to get from Homes for All to rehabilitate the Manitou Schoolhouse. So, and that's on the official 14.4. The next one, item D, is waiving construction permit fees for the Bayville Volunteer Fire Company. They need to replace their boilers, and they had asked us to waive fees, and we normally do that for nonprofit organizations, especially service organizations within our municipality that provide services to our residents, and that's on the official item 14.5. Next item E is the 11th annual Vocational Music and Wellness Festival at Veterans Park. That's going to be July 31st. This is a unique partnership that we have been going with the festival. As mentioned, this is the 11th year. It started out very small, and each year it just gets bigger and better. And I just want to give kudos to Dan and Michelle Leonard, who were very involved in that and have been running it for years. And it's basically little or no cost to the taxpayers. They actually provide their own security. They do their own maintenance there. All we do is provide dumpsters, and then they clean up the park afterwards. They do a great job, and we're happy to continue moving forward with that partnership. And that's approving the use of our Veterans Park stage area, and that's on the official item 14.6. And item 2E is waiving fees in golf cart use, and that's on the official item 14.7.
Item 4F is the 2020 Recycling Tonnage Grant. This is an application, where the resolution is actually for an authorization to submit an application for the 2020 Recycling Tonnage Grant. These funds get used for purposes of recycling. We do a pretty good job, actually a very good job in the township. And as a reward of the tonnage that we get, there are grant monies that come out of it. We don't know how much they will be, but this is an application to receive those. And that is on the official agenda number 14.8.
Item G is Ocean County Fair, which will be July 14th to the 18th. Tentative, pending on what happens with the outside gathering. And that's the same thing that goes for the associational festival as well, pending approval from the state government on the outdoor gathering. So this is tentatively for the July 14th through July 18th, and what they're asking is for the township to waive township or fees and also construction inspection fees. Because if you're anybody who's been to the county fair, know that there's rides and temporary structures that need to be installed, and our construction department goes out to make sure everything is copacetic. And then we also get the waiving the fees for the different teams of chance that are out there. You know, they usually have the wheels and football toss and all those things where you can win prizes, so they can get a permit. So they've requested, and we have done it every year since. So they're requesting it once again that we waive our construction fees and our township fees for the games of chance. And both the items on the agenda, item 14.9.
And Mayor, were you going to speak to H as well, or would you like me to?
You can cover each.
Thank you. Letter H is renewing the franchise. It's a new 10-year franchise agreement between the Township and New Jersey Natural Gas Company as the provider of natural gas in Berkeley Township. It's on the official agenda as item number 14.10.
Item 4I, there's actually a couple of resolutions here. One is to cancel taxes for a totally disabled veteran. That is on the agenda number 14.11. And the second one on this is to cancel taxes for the second half of 2019 and all of 2020 and 21. There was a recording error that was made by the assessor's office when a deed came in. It included multiple lots, and only one lot was taken off of the tax rolls. So this expunges the taxes for the rest of those small lots. And that is on the official agenda number 14.12. Item 4J is a refund of construction permit fees to DK Sledick Heating and Air Conditioning Company for Block 4.204, Lot 11. This is authorizing a refund for those monies. They had paid $175. They will only be refunded for $138.20. The DCA fees and the review fees have been deducted from that, and that is on the official agenda number 14.13.
Thank you, Fred. Item K, authorizing the administrator to sign a sidebar agreement with the PBA because they have a collective bargaining agreement that's in place and because new terms were just added regarding retiree payments towards health insurance. There needed to be a sidebar agreement. We negotiated in good faith with the PBA and came to an agreement. The authorization for me to sign that is on the official agenda as item number 14.14. And I can say that letter L is the exact same, only in regards to the SOA, or the Superior Officers Organization Association of the Police Officers. And that one is on the official agenda as item number 14.15.
Mayor?
And I think the mayor was going to speak to letter M.
Yes, and I'm going to defer to Councilman Gross. This is a resolution that we spoke about at the last meeting with relative to Senate Bill number 3454, which is now Public Law 2021 C.25. And just, as everybody knows, last November, there was a question on the ballot whether the marijuana legalization bill is to approve amending the Constitution to legalize a controlled form of marijuana called cannabis. So at that time, only adults, you're 21 years or older, can use cannabis. Cannabis product, of course, would be subject to a sales tax authorized by the legislature, and local municipalities may pass ordinances to charge taxes and products. But the crux of this legislation is whereas the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Enforcement Assistance Marketplace Modernization Act and decriminalizing marijuana and hashish possession, the governor also signed another bill, which is 3454, which we're speaking about, addressing marijuana and cannabis use and possession penalties for individuals younger than 21 years old. And whereas, the majority of the residents, by 67% of the vote, approved the legalization of marijuana for use by adults 21 years old. There's no question, no debate, the outcome of the ballot question. However, residents were not aware at the time that their vote, that this would eventually lead to the New Jersey legislature voting to make law enforcement officers guilty of a crime if they notify parents of children under the age of 18 that their child was caught with marijuana or alcohol on the first offense. And whereas the bill that was voted on, passed and signed into law, less than 1 hour before the legalization of marijuana was scheduled to become law. And as a result of this law, our dedicated law enforcement officers will be guilty of a crime if they notify parents that an underage child is using or in the possession of marijuana or alcohol on the first offense. Only if the child is found again using or in possession can an enforcement officer notify the parent. This legislation is treacherous to our law enforcement officers because it creates a penalty of third-degree deprivation of civil rights if an officer uses the odor or possession of marijuana or alcoholic beverages as a reason for initiating an investigatory stop of a person. Now, the new law states a minor cannot consent to search, and that a law enforcement officer no longer has probable cause to search a minor for illegally using marijuana or alcohol. And if the officer violates a minor's rights by using pot or alcohol, then the reason for the search, then the officer will be charged with a crime. This is absolutely outrageous. Something needs to be done about this, and we discussed it, at the last meeting. And it's something that the legislature needs to address immediately, because children, parents have the right to know what's going on with their children, and then to have our law enforcement officers not being able to pass on that information to the parents is unconscionable. So this is just a resolution that's been adopted in other municipalities, seeking, voicing our opinion that, this legislation needs to be changed. Our hard working, dedicated law enforcement officers have to be able to do their job without fearing backlash or violating these type of laws. And then so, basically, the new law contradicts, the prior law that banned smoking tobacco products on beaches and boardwalks. And now that law may be essentially unenforceable when it comes to smoking marijuana on beaches and boardwalks. Underage users of marijuana will now be free to smoke it anywhere, including in places the law says it's illegal, because merely stopping a person to enforce the law is now illegal for police. Just think about that. So I'm going to, defer to our councilman, who's in law enforcement, Tom Bruce, and then, would ask Mike Signorelli, Councilman Signorelli, who's also a retired law enforcement, let them also comment. So Councilman Gross?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And as you may remember, I did bring this up a meeting or two ago. So it's not just treacherous, Mayor, it's completely ridiculous. In layman's terms, not only are the officer's hands tied, but we can be charged with a third-degree offense for what used to be a perfunctory part of our job. Absolutely ridiculous. I am 1,000% in favor of the resolution. I hope many municipalities have done so prior and will follow in that same regard. It's obviously the right thing to do. I don't know the genesis of it, who came up with this ridiculous idea. One of a long list of problems is that there, unless one has recently been developed, but I'm quite sure hasn't, and the deputy chief can correct me if I am wrong, but I don't think I am, is that there is no database. So if you get a kid, and as far as you know, it's his first warning, you're not supposed to do anything. But for all we know, since there's no database recording his previous potential run-ins with law enforcement with marijuana and/or alcohol, this could be a 7 to 5 million. And so the kids will get off scot-free forever. I mean, what message are we sending to the next generation and the children? So I applaud the resolution. Of course, I'm in favor of it, and I hope many towns will follow. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. If Councilman Signorelli wants to add anything to this resolution?
Yeah, I'm totally in favor of this, Mayor, and it just seems to be that the people in Trenton are not thinking with their heads. Aside from the fact that it's going to put the burden on the police officer not to do his job, it's also allowing the drug dealers to use these children as mules. And, I've been in law enforcement a long time, and this is not the right thing to do. So anything that we can do to stop this, I'm in favor of.
Thank you, Councilman Signorelli.
Also, Mayor, the last meeting, I know we talked that our special twos are mostly on the beach area, and they're not represented by the PBA. So they're going to be actually left hanging out there. And like the Councilman Gross said, Seaside Heights, the kid might have gotten stopped there, then got stopped in the park, and you wouldn't know if that was a first or a second offense until they all get on the same page. But is there a different area that the council could go, like no smoking in public areas? Can we do something more stringent than what the state does?
No, I mean, at this point,
Can we get the
The
new lawyer here?
I mean, the statute, I understand, the statute spells out what you can and can't do. If you go above it or beyond it and you're challenged, most likely you will not win.
Through the chair, if I can interject.
Go ahead.
Are we able to add to the resolution potentially that we suggest strongly a statewide codified database? And let's face it, guys, I mean, we put a man on the moon a million years ago. This really shouldn't be that hard. A database wherein we can put the kids, the juveniles' names with interactive law enforcement regarding the possession of the narcotics and/or alcohol.
For the deputy chief, do we share with any other towns now?
No, so the computer system we use now, like some are linked together, but we're not like that right now. I mean, we do share information, but not through a centralized database like that. There is talk that they're working on it through the Attorney General's office, but I mean, we're working on it. It's an answer you hear a lot in government. What I will say, there is legislation that was introduced since that to rectify some of these issues that I think went to the Assembly, the last version I got. So I know that there is some stuff introduced to try to fix some of these issues.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think we all know that it was passed at the last hour, and there were a lot of mistakes in the legislation, and it's coming to light. So it looks like there are changes that are being proposed, and hopefully will be made. The most that we can do right now is just try to keep our eyes on it and try to get our legislators to pass these amendments through.
All right, Chief, if you see something coming out there, if you can get the administrator and
Absolutely.
we'll act right away on it.
And to give the public like a barometer of what a third-degree crime is equivalent to, for those who probably wouldn't know, it's like the equivalent to a burglary. Somebody that commits a burglary, that's what a third-degree crime is. So that's what it also would be, the same kind of penalties for that.
Through the chair, I'd like to add something. From what I'm reading about this situation, so if a child, a young person has a cooler, they could have a case of beer in their cooler. The policeman can't do anything. He can't look inside of it. If he does do that, he can be charged with a third-degree crime, and that means jail time or a major fine. It's absolutely ludicrous that we would allow that to happen, so we do have to fight it on every level. Thank you.
Thank you. Item N.
Item N, I think Councilman Bacchione may want to speak to.
Yeah, I was going to save my comments for when we get to speak as council,
Okay.
but it's regarding the Reproductive Freedom Act.
Then I'll just simply put on the record that item N is a resolution opposing S 3030 as well as A 4848, which is known as the Reproductive Freedom Act, and that resolution is on the official agenda as item number 14.17.
Yes, thank you.
Item O.
O is authorizing the sale of Block 1403, lots 1 through 20. It's the introduction of an ordinance, so it's on the official agenda as item number 13. And this is one selling a piece to a contiguous property owner for them to then adjoin to their lot.
Item 4P is transferring the appropriation reserves. We are allowed to move funds around in the prior year budget up to 3 months into the new year, in case there are some bills or unforeseen expenses that come in. There were some. Out of a $50 million budget, there's only $13,000 worth of it, so it's pretty good. But this allows that funds to be moved around amongst several line items. And that is on the official agenda, number 14.18. Item Q is an emergency temporary appropriation resolution. Don't let the word emergency scare you. It's not really an emergency. It's basically another temporary budget. This will allow the township to continue spending until June. That is on the official agenda, number 14.19. Item 4R is awarding a contract for the purchase of a 2021 front-end loader in the amount of $264,450. This went out for bid. There were 3 bids. The lowest bidder was Central Jersey Construction Equipment Sales, LLC, also known as Jersey Rents. And that is on the official agenda, number 14.20. Item S is updating the state cooperative contracts. There were some state contracted vendors that left the list. There was a couple of them that were added on, and a few that dates have changed. This is normally what we do, and just to keep the lists fresh and current. And that is on the official agenda, number 14.21.
Thank you, Fred. Item U is awarding a 2-year contract for 2021 and 2022 for the refuse collection system. It's on the official agenda as item number 14.22, and is sort of complicated and intense as that sound. It's to buy garbage cans. So the township goes out to bid because we buy robo cans every year to then put out to the residents, sell them when they need an extra one, and we need to keep a contract because it amounts to enough money to do so. So that's what U is about. Item V is authorizing the disposal of surplus property. We do this essentially once a year. It can be more often, but when we township accumulates equipment that is no longer needed for the township but has some value, we put it up for auction and it goes to the highest bidder. The authorization to do that for this one is on the official agenda as item number 14.23.
John, can we add the golf carts to that? Any old golf carts?
I think golf carts are on there, and we'll, of course, as you've said before, maybe not auction them all off. We'll see if there's some the township wants to retain, but the authorization to do it is on this list. Yes.
Right, thank you. Item W, Mayor. John?
Mayor, I think you were going to speak to item W.
Yep. Yeah, thank you. Item W, this is something I know a lot of people in our township look forward to each and every year. It's our Sounds of Summer concert series. We are going to tentatively move forward. As we previously had mentioned, we were talking in regards to the Soulsational Festival and also the Ocean County Fair. But we wanted to start the ball rolling to get
get moving on our summer concert series. So the item on the agenda is just authorizing LaGuardia unspecified contract with LaGuardia and Associates, who are has been the Township's concert promoters. This would be their 21st season with us in Berkeley Township. And, we have some tentative dates that we're going to start. We're going to probably look to start at the end of June. And I'm just looking for my dates here, which I have right here. And we're going to start June 23rd. Obviously, all our concerts on Wednesday night because it's when we have all of our police officers available, so it helps us overtime, and that's why we moved it to Wednesday. So on Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021, will be our first concert, and we are going to have Jukebox Legend, Joe Lino and Bill Segeri are two of the original members of Jukebox Legend. Joe's the Berkeley Township resident. They're going to start us off at 6 o'clock, and then the main attraction is going to be AM Bowl from 7:30 to 9, and they play hits from the 1975 to 1985. We had them a few years ago, and they're back by popular demand. On the July, I think that's the 7th shop, is their next one.
Yes.
Our July 7th concert will be Atlantic City headliners to our Escondido, and then the band Total Soul, who also played for us before. And also that night, July 7th, we'll have fireworks in honor of Independence Day. July 17th is going to be our concert on the beach. That is the Saturday night. That's our 23rd Avenue Beach, and the band will be Verdict. Next concert will be August 4th, started by Rock and Rhythm, which is a band that comes back every year. And a new band, Super Trans Am. We had them scheduled last year, but due to the pandemic, we scaled back our summer concert series. So we're looking forward to having Super Trans Am. And of course, our Community Pride Day, which is our Founders Day, which also happens to fall on September 11th. So it's the 20th anniversary of the tragic events of September 11th, and we will be doing a moment of silence and a short program that we never forget what happened on September 11th. And then, obviously our Founders Day, and then we'll have Stiletto and the Sax Man, which have played for us before, and the new Power Soul will be finishing the evening. So it's a good concert series, a lot of entertainment. Obviously, it's a free concerts are free to our residents. As I mentioned before, tentatively, we're going to move forward with the schedule. We're going to keep it to Berkeley Township residents only, unless the outdoor invitations get increased. Then we'll open it up to the surrounding town. But right now, our summer concert will be just for Township residents. And as all the council members know, that these summer concerts not only support a nice free night out, free entertainment for our residents, but it also provides all of our local nonprofit organizations a chance to fundraise for their groups. You have the Elks Club in the past have been there. You've had, of course, the Knights of Columbus, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the VFW usually handles the raffles for us. So it's just a nice night of free entertainment, and every dollar that you spend on these nonprofit organizations, 100% of the profits go to fund their programs and their organizations. So it's a win-win all the way around. We do a golf outing to raise money to pay for the concert series. Then we do a mayor's golf outing. We also sell advertisements on the billboards that are next to the stage area. And we also do a program book. So between the golf outing, the advertisements that are sold on the billboards, and also the ad journal that we put together pays for 100% of the entertainment. No tax money goes to pay for the entertainment. So it's just a win-win win all the way around. So we're looking forward to the summer season. We're looking forward to getting back out in the fresh air. And I just wanted to release those dates early on. And obviously we'll be confirming with the band to make sure we get everybody on. And I just got a text for the hook, so I will leave this item.
Sorry, Mayor.
The official item 14.24.
Thank you, Mayor. And if I can jump in through the chair, item X had been put on as removed because it was my mistake. It had originally been on a draft agenda, and I thought it was not needed with our form of government, but apparently it is needed. We don't want to miss this opportunity. So if I can, that would be a resolution appointing Class 1 special law enforcement officers and authorizing attendance at the Ocean County Police Academy. It's, would the clerk want it to be on the official as item number 14.25, 21-163 resolution? That's that first blank spot. Okay, then that's where it would be, and thank you. I'm sorry about the mix-up. I think the mayor was going to finish us off with item Y from administration.
Yes, this is just a confirming resolution. A few years ago, we applied for and were successful in getting a Green Acres grant, I believe. I think it was $135,000 to repair the end of the street with a passive kayak ramp or small craft ramp, but also putting a park there with a top lot, some picnic benches, and we had to finalize our ROSI, which is our Recreation Open Space Inventory list before the funds could be released to the township. So I want to thank our township planner, Jim Orris, who it was a yeoman's job to get this comprehensive plan put together, and we finally got it done and submitted. So now this is just a resolution acknowledging that we will receive the grant money, and then we're still going back and forth with the DEP with relative to what we can do there. I'm sure Council Vice President Jim Burns may add just a couple of things that we are working feverishly with the DEP. There was a conference call last week. Thankfully, the administrator, myself, Councilman Burns, and Bill McGrath, who's chairman of the Waterways Commission, along with our engineers, were on, just trying to make a case to the DEP to maximize the size of the park. So those ongoing discussions with the DEP will continue, but a lot hinges on the DEP approval, because we want to also make some off-street improvements to drainage and some other improvements to that area. But we really can't do anything moving forward until we can work all the details out with the DEP. So, Mr. Council Vice President, you want to add anything to that, or wait for your comments?
We might as well hit it right now. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
The same day that we got this grant for $135,000 for the boat ramp was the same day that we met with the DEP. And like the mayor said, it was the mayor, the administrator, and the Waterways Committee. The road improvements there are really part of our matching. And then this matching will be the added bulkhead and the ramp. And it's been on the boards for over 2 years, these plans, and now they found some fresh water. Now they want to move the ramp eastward to more of the point. They want to move the existing bulkhead that they say is failing. They want to move it back halfway and take half of the beach. And no way that we're going to go for that. And the administrator and the mayor and the engineer will probably be meeting again next week. I don't think Mr. McGrath and myself will be invited, but he may want to say something under public. But, I'm ready to go to the mat with them on this. The DEP, every project we have, it's like playing whack-a-mole. We get a project, they hit us in the head. So, it's like they're doing our design. So I said, why don't you just do the design and, we'll do what you want. But to take half of that beach that's been there for the public for years, it's not going to happen. All right? Thank you. The engineer, do you have something to add to that, or Pam?
No. Yes, I just, can everybody hear me? I just wanted to just reiterate what you had said. Permit applications have been ongoing for close to 2 years. We've been trying to get through the NJDEP, and it has been a work in progress. But I'm happy to hear that the Green Acres grant money was secured by the township. Hopefully that will help motivate land use to acknowledge that, you know, this project, there's a need for this project. And we'd like to just, you know, try and get through the permitting process at this point.
I think you're also talking to the engineer tonight. We might be able to move ahead with the paving and the sewer drain there prior to getting these approvals for the park. So we'll look at that for maybe putting it out for bid in the near future.
Yeah.
Okay, comments from the mayor?
I do have a few things. Actually, there was a resolution that I asked for that was approved at our last meeting that was not included on this agenda. So I'm just going to read it real quick because I think it is imperative that we get it adopted tonight. It's a resolution of the Township of Berkeley, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, imploring the federal government to increase the COVID-19 vaccine supply
It's
to
item
the
one.
state of New Jersey.
It's item one on the
New
official.
Jersey and the United
It's item
States of America
14.1 on the official.
are in the middle of a pandemic caused by COVID-19
It's
infection.
item 14.1 on the official.
Whereas at the beginning of the pandemic in February of 2020, there have been over 500,000 lives lost, millions of infections, leading to serious disease and long-term health impacts for many Americans. Whereas there have been millions of lives lost worldwide, and whereas in an effort to combat the novel coronavirus, COVID-19 vaccines were developed and are now available in the United States. And whereas approximately 30.7 million Americans have been fully vaccinated, and 3.5 of which are in New Jersey. And whereas demand for COVID-19 vaccine is high and the supply is insufficient to meet the needs of Americans. And whereas due to the limited supply and enormous demand, vaccination sites within New Jersey have had to either temporarily close or severely reduced. And whereas the lack of supply has forced the state of New Jersey to cut Ocean County's weekly COVID vaccine shipment by 40%. And whereas any cut to Ocean County's COVID-19 vaccine supply is unconscionable, as it is home to the highest population of senior citizens within the state. A population, a known population vulnerable to the COVID-19 infections and complications. And whereas Berkeley Township in particular is home to 18,000 senior citizens aged 60 and older. And whereas the federal government's actions to limit the state of New Jersey supplies greatly impacts Ocean County's ability to vaccinate its citizens, of which has the largest senior citizens population in New Jersey, is indefensible, and it is clear there is a major need for the vaccination among this population. And whereas the mayor and council urge the president, the Senate, and House of Representatives to not only increase the vaccine allotment to New Jersey, but that New Jersey reinstate Ocean County supply, but to further increase the amount dispensed to the county to ensure the senior citizen population has access to the COVID-19 vaccination. Now, therefore, be resolved, the Township Council of the Township of Berkeley, along with the mayor, as follows, that the governing body urges the federal government to not only reinstate, but further increase the COVID-19 vaccination. So, just I'm going to ask that this be added
Mayor?
to the consent agenda. Yeah.
Mayor, so you know that it's great, I think it's really important that you got to read the full body in so people could hear the intensity of it as well as all the facts and figures. But the clerk had put that right on, so it's item number 14.1. It's on the consent agenda, it just was not on the caucus agenda
Because it
because
was
it had
discussed
already
last
been approved at the last meeting. So it is on the agenda and it's all good.
Excellent. And that's item 14.1? All
Correct.
right, sounds good. Now, like you said, it was important to read it into the record anyway, since we discussed it at the last meeting, it's going to be about. So, I got some good news out of Trenton today. The township is in receipt of $2.2 million, a little over $2 million for the homestead credit. So 7,900 homeowners who qualify for the homestead credit will get the full amount credited at their May property tax bill. We'll be sending out corrected, not so much corrected, modified tax bill of 7,900. The average is about $290. There's some homeowners that are going to get less. Some homeowners are going to get that more. But when you average it out, 7,900 homeowners who qualify, you divvy up to a little over $2 million, comes to roughly about $290, give or take. So that's good news for the homeowners who qualify. If you all recall, 2 years ago it was cut from state budget, and then last year only half of it was instituted in the budget, and it was given the state, instead of giving it during the one budget cycle, they broke it up into two parts over two state budget cycles. So it was what's happening in early on in 2020 and then towards the end of the year. But this year, the full amount, 100% of the homeowners, 100% of the 7,900 homeowners who qualify it will get a revised tax bill with the average credit. So that's good news, and I wanted to make that announcement tonight. I want to thank Call from Berkeley Recreation. Obviously, due to COVID-19 concerns, we did not do a traditional Easter egg hunt. What we did was a drive-up, what we call egg hop. So the kids drove up in the cars, and myself, Councilwoman Sophia Gingrich, Councilman John Vecchione, and Councilman Mike Signorelli, along with Mark and our recreation staff, handed out over 800 bags full of eggs and craft, and there was also 50 of the bags with a gift card, a $5 gift card for the kids. So it was well received by the parents and the children. And of course, at the end of the line, we had the Easter Bunny there, who I was advised by Councilman Vecchione, who comes from Easter Island. I'm not sure, I guess I looked that up. But they actually got to take a picture with the Easter Bunny while they were still in the car, safely distanced, and it worked out very, very well. So kudos to our recreation staff for thinking out of the box to continue some of these programs. As of today, COVID-19, which we're a little bit over a year since we started, since the government started keeping track of the positives, about 3,656 confirmed positives in Berkeley Township. Unfortunately, 233 unfortunately have passed away, but that's throughout the entire year. So it's we're hopefully getting to the end. We just got to get more vaccine so we can get our residents vaccinated. And now with the release of the Johnson and J&J, one shot, one and done shot, it's moving in the right direction. All of our first responders that wanted to be vaccinated are all vaccinated. Tomorrow, and I believe on Thursday, our school staff will be vaccinated. I believe tomorrow is Berkeley schools, and then on Thursday, I believe, it's all subject to change on availability, but I believe this Thursday, Central Regional staff will be vaccinated, which is good because we're all looking forward to getting back to some normalcy, getting our kids back to school, get back to the socialization aspect on a full-time basis. So we're encouraged by that. The County of Ocean has put out COVID hotline phone numbers. It's 800 number is 833-544-0288, and it's 732-380-5079. Those are for any COVID questions. They are not scheduling. If you want to schedule, you got to call the state line, or you got to go online and try to register. But they do have access to the database. So if you did register online and need some additional information, they'll be able to look you up in the computer. The Bayville Volunteer Fire Company has set up a COVID testing site, and this is just for COVID testing, not vaccination. It's a drive-through COVID testing clinic at the Bayville Volunteer Fire Company on Route 9. They're open on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's open on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And so you can either drive up or you can schedule to be tested. There's no phone number, but it's testnj.online, O-N-L-I-N-E, testnj.online, and you can register for COVID testing, not vaccination, if you need to get a quick, you want to get a test for COVID. So that's pretty much makes up my remarks. Just please be patient, everybody. Stay safe, mask up, social distance. Please wash your hands frequently with soap and water. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're getting there. Just be patient for another couple weeks until we can get what we need to get everybody vaccinated, and then we can enjoy late spring and then summer being together again. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor. On that Bayville Fire Company, the testing, it's real fast. There's only like 1 or 2 people in front of you. You just drive up, they do the test, you get the results next day. So it works out really good. But this virus, I'm sure we all know somebody that's passed, but I hope it passes quick. Okay, Councilman Bacchione?
Thank you, Councilman Burns. Just to start off, I agree with the mayor's comments regarding the bunny hop. I thought it was put together well this Saturday, and the responses from the hundreds of cars, the people in the cars that came by, was very positive. And just for the record, my reference for the Easter Bunny's home, Easter Island, came from Google. So Google can never be wrong, I guess. I'd like to direct everyone's attention back to item 4N regarding the Senate bill or the Senate Act 3030 and the Assembly Act or Bill 4848 regarding the Reproductive Freedom Act, which I find to be very ironic in just name alone. I read the bill and I have it with me here tonight, and I don't see any freedoms for the unborn child, nor do I see any civil liberties. In the act itself, there's I'd like to read one of the comments it makes. It says, "A fertile egg, embryo, or fetus shall not have independent rights under the laws of the state." I find that to be very unconscionable. The bill itself, just to pick it apart a bit, mentions that the terminations of pregnancies can be performed by non-physicians in non-hospital settings at any time throughout the 9 months of the pregnancy, which will pose significant health risks, I believe. And I'm not a physician, but this seems logical. This can lead to a termination of pregnancies during the last trimester, which may be unsafe and, again, unconscionable. In the event of a pregnant woman who is either killed or murdered, the defendant or murderer is charged with 2 murders. When a woman aborts a child, especially in the last trimester, we don't consider it, I guess, a murder or killing. I just find it very confusing, the legal aspects of this bill. So I implore my colleagues here on the dais to vote yes on this resolution opposing this Senate and Assembly bill. I just think it's just something that I think we've gone beyond what the law allows in this case. And I don't know. But thank you for my time, Mr. Vice President.
That's sick, isn't it? Councilwoman Gingrich?
Thank you, John, for bringing that up. It's a horrible thing. I will also comment on Saturday. We had a great time at the Bunny Hop. The kids loved it. I loved it. And everyone got a beautiful bag of Easter eggs. And just to see their faces, some of those kids are just so adorable. And we had a very nice time there. So thank you, Mayor, and the Rec Center for putting out a really nice time for everyone. I was going to comment on don't let Trenton handcuff your police, but we talked about that before, and I hope that we can resolve this in a better way, because the police right now are under scrutiny and fire in every direction, and it's really very sad that this country has gone in that direction. We have to fight for the police and for ourselves, because they protect us. So going forward, I hope we get a better resolution for the police department and for the citizens of this country. The other thing I'd like to add is that Saturday, April 10th, Berkeley Township Recycling Center, you could get your documents shredded. They're having the shredding program, and that's on April 10th, Saturday at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And as usual, I run the food bank. It's this Friday, the 26th, 631 Jamaica Boulevard, from 9:30 to 11. Anyone in need, please come. They don't ask for identification or anything. You just get a box of food. Thank you very much.
Councilman Bushio?
Just more of a, I guess, a question than a comment, and this could be for, I guess, the engineer and the administrator. Have we received anything from the state yet, a little more detail on when the paving of Route 9 is going to take place? I've just been bombarded with questions. Everyone thinks Route 9 is, the township, but, saying April, May, what do we, anything definitive?
I don't have a definitive schedule, but we can reach out to the DOT and find out when they're going to be doing restoration. I know that there's been a lot of utility work, so it makes it quite difficult to travel down Route 9. So we will follow up with the DOT.
I know we got the letter. It was great that announcing it's going to be done, but there was really no, clarity as to when. And people are starting to ask me, is there a hotline for claims for the damage to their cars?
Understood. We will reach out to the DOT and try and get a more definitive schedule, and hopefully we can just coordinate that with the township and maybe have it even posted on the website once we get the schedule from the DOT.
Now they can't hide behind the weather because we have nice weather.
We
now.
do have, it's perfect paving weather.
It is, exactly.
I agree.
So maybe if we could send a letter.
Through the chair to Councilman Bushio and our engineer. They assured the town that once New Jersey Natural Gas was done replacing the pipe, that they would immediately do it. Obviously, the DOT is not going to come in and reserve mill and pave Route 9 until the gas company's done. I mean, every night I drive to see how much more feet of pipe that they put into the ground, because we're basically at the mercy to New Jersey Natural Gas. So, I mean, with Councilman Bushio's approval, I would request that the council pass a resolution demanding New Jersey Natural Gas move as quickly as possible to finish the Route 9 pipe work, so the DOT can immediately commence on the milling and paving of Route 9. Because I agree with Councilman Bushio, I think it's all as well. People are frustrated that use Route 9. I mean, like I said, every night I drive Route 9 to see how far they've gone, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. So, I would, I'm sure Councilman Bushio will make the motion for the resolution.
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Council should adopt it.
Is there a second?
Add it to the consent agenda and get it out in the mail tomorrow.
And I want the resolution to say we want a specific schedule from the gas company as to when they're going to finish. We want to know when, how much of what by when.
Is there a second?
Before I make the second, I just wanted to comment that my visual on this Route 9 gas pipe going in seems to be only a short part, which is a bridge, which I believe is Miller's Creek. Maybe Deputy Chief can tell. There's a small section that they were working on today that only, it's not even an eighth of a mile. It's just a short section. I guess they're trying to negotiate the bridge. How do we get the pipe over the bridge or under the bridge? From what it looks like to me, so I assume that
I don't know which part you're talking about.
it's almost by the garden center on Route 9, Mike's Foreign Car Repair. That wasn't a plug. But that section seems to be where they haven't torn up the road yet. But I'll second that motion.
Roll call.
Roll
Councilman
call, please.
Bacchione.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich.
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli.
Yes.
Councilman Buccio.
Yes.
Councilman Gross.
Yes.
Council President Godano.
Yes.
Council Vice President Burns.
Yes. I have been talking with Councilman Newman from Pine Beach that, to get on this, and as they go along, we'll clean up Route 9, like the traffic light by ShopRite and some other areas that need addressing. Councilman Signorino?
Who's that? Close, but no cigar.
It's a good Italian name, too.
Yeah, I gotta tell, I want to agree with the rest of the council people here that were at the Easter egg distribution the other day. The Recreation Department did a remarkable job, and there was a lot of smiling faces if you could see them through the mask, but you could see their eyes. It was good. As far as I wasn't aware of the bill that John mentioned, that Councilman Bacchione mentioned, and now I really am wondering what's going on in Trenton between that, and then handcuffing the police and putting our children at risk in every possible way. What's going on down there? This is just out of control. But that's all I got to say.
What's the difference in E or O? What's it? Signorino, Signorelli?
Signorelli.
Council President Godano?
I have nothing at this moment, Council Vice President.
Councilman Gross?
I had a couple things, but everything was covered, so no. Thank you.
Thank you. The Administrator?
Well, thank you. Added time? I'll pass.
Just real quick, the way the state's going, I had a Zoom meeting today with Assistant Attorney General, and we were looking at penalties for contractors working on elevators without a license. And we were trying to find a penalty, whether it be $2,000, $5,000, or whatever. And the Lieutenant Governor came up and said, let it go for a while. So I guess after November, it'll be all right. But, let the penalties go for a while. So that's one thing there. Through the last month, along with the OEM, what do you call it, Captain Doan, we've been looking at the all-terrain ambulance, something that could go through flooded areas, go on the beach, go through OBM pit, something that's 25, 30 inches up off the ground. And talking with the administrator, we would apply for some of the CARE money, and if we got it, we'd be able to purchase it with, no burden on the taxpayers. Also, the police are working on a camera set up for around the township, and we compared notes, and all the dead ends, the beach areas, all the trouble areas they had addressed. And I think there was only one or two areas that we had that they didn't have. So, that is pretty good. Also, I'm going to work with Jersey Central to try to get lights and whatever power you need there. The beaches, the last couple of days, people have been out there running around. I know some people are here tonight to talk about Narragansett and Avalon. I've been out there quite a few times with the engineer. The last rain we had, I was out there with Alan and John LeCompte. And there are a lot of remedial things that can be done. The county cleaned out the drain pipe going down Narragansett. That little bend where the swale was letting water out into the river, that now the river's come onto the road. We're looking at putting some type of a bulkhead there, shared with Ocean Gate, and maybe the engineer could add to that, but she's filling in, so we don't want to beat her up too bad tonight. And on the end of Avalon, where the road's deteriorated, falling in there, something's going to have to be addressed there. The pipes are coming out, but you know, the ideal thing is just to go in and raise the road and put a bulkhead here and another drain there. But if you notice, some of those houses are underwater on a nice day. So I think before October, most of those houses have to be addressed. There is some grant money available for raising, but I just want to let you know that we're out there every day with the rain, whatever, and there's a lot of possibilities there. But it takes permits, it takes a DEP, and if you could be patient, we'll get to it. There's also grants available that just came out, I think 2 weeks ago, from Save Barnegat Bay. The mayor might want to add something. Anything that drains into the Toms River or the bay, there'll be grants available, so that would really help those projects out. And I think once Save Barnegat Bay gets on board, it may move a little faster through the DEP. I've been out looking at the golf course. I met with the administrator and the manager. He promised that the sand traps would be redone. They're going to be leasing 30 new golf carts, and they're going to make the improvements out there. And I've been out the last few days looking at it, and they do have it laid out where the traps are going to be improved. So his contract, the renewal, it's not a renewal, but the anniversary is the end of April. So we're going to hold his feet to the fire, and once he starts doing some of these projects, we'll have a golf committee meeting. All right, and that's all I have. All right. Discussion by the township engineer.
Just real quick, Mr. Council Vice President, just to dovetail on Narragansett, immediately after the last meeting, I did have a conversation with Councilman Rob Livingston from Ocean Gate and also Mayor Paul Kennedy from Ocean Gate. They were both very accommodating, want to work with the township to come up with a long-term solution to the repetitive drainage issues that are having. And this is a unique situation because, as everybody knows, you have to drive through Ocean Gate to get to the Berkeley Township home. So, you know, not only as Council Vice President Burns had mentioned, there's permitting issues, there's design issues, there's a lot of hurdles that we need to get over. But it also has to have a partnership between the two towns. And I want to thank Councilman Livingston and Mayor Kennedy for their pledge of support to get this long-standing issue addressed and fixed. Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
And there are no permits required to clean the catch basins out, so Public Works will be out. And I know the county was out there doing some, but Pam, excuse us. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was Mayor Kennedy. We spoke, he immediately called the county out, and he said they were there for the better part of 2 days, and the amount of sand that they were able to get out was amazing. So the county's going to put it more on a more frequent cleaning basis than what they've been doing. So I think that should help a little bit in the interim until we can find a long-term solution. Thank you.
Go, Pam. Quick.
Okay, so thank you. I'm Pam Hilla with Remington Vernick Engineers. I'm here tonight on behalf of Alan Denhofer with Remington Vernick. So as far as discussion items by the township engineer, item A1 is a contract change order for a downward change order for Kaiser Mechanical LLC. It's for the cooling tower replacements that occurred at the police station and the municipal building. It's a a decrease in contract of $859.75. That's on the official item 14.27. We have the release of the performance guarantees. This is for the closeout of the cooling tower replacement for the police station and the municipal building. And this is on the official item 14.28. Item B is the award of the contract for the Morris Boulevard roadway reconstruction to BlackRock Enterprises in the amount of $424,195. I do want to just point out that there was an amendment to the resolutions because the initial low bidder, S&G Construction, withdrew their bid this past Friday. So over the weekend, Lauren had, she had drafted an updated resolution, and the award is going to go to BlackRock Enterprises. That is for the drainage improvements and the repaving of Morris Boulevard from Route 9 to the end of Morris Boulevard. We have items, that is on the official item 14.29. So item C is for the award of contract for the 2020 roadway improvements at Carlisle Road, Langley Court, and Langley Road. It's to Earl Asphalt Company in the amount of $316,413.13. That's on the official item 14.30. Item D is for authorization to advertise and receive bids. There's 4 items under D. One is for the 2021 mill and overlay various roads Phase 2. That's on the official item 14.31. D2 is for gravel roads Phase 15. That's at East Barnegat Avenue, and that is on the official item 14.32. Item D3 is the 2021 road materials contract. That's the annual materials contract for road and drainage materials, and that is on the official item 14.33. Item D4 is the sanitary sewer extension at Veterans Park, which is the sewer main extension. That's being constructed for the new bathrooms that are being proposed at Veterans Park, and that's on the official item 14.34. Just to elaborate a little bit with the Narragansett Ave, you're correct. I mean, we're looking at a multi-jurisdictional issue that doesn't only affect Berkeley Township, it's also Ocean Gate and Ocean County infrastructure. There's county roads involved, there's county drainage involved. The county was out there to clean out the drainage system, and our office is proceeding with some preliminary survey to assess the area, look at the elevation of the roadway, and assess the drainage system. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Do we penalize bidders for withdrawing? We don't penalize them, do we?
If they withdraw, they are not allowed to rebid. If we were to rebid the project, they would not be able to submit a bid for the project.
But we don't go after their bid bond or anything.
No, there's a statute that allows them to withdraw, and you would not go after their bid if it's within a certain period of time and it meets the criteria within the statute, which this did.
Good. On the sanitary sewer extension, that's going to be some restrooms up by the band shell. The plans are coming out to bid that project, but in between the administrator, we were talking about running the sanitary sewer and the water to that location, and if that project's not done by the time the concert's done, we could always rent a portable, and we could connect it to our water and sewer, and we wouldn't have to be messing around with all those porta-johns, and it'd be a lot more sanitary. All right? Discussion by Township Clerk.
Item A is fireman appointments. Number 1 is Mark E. Binns. He's being appointed to the Manitoba Park Fire Company. Backgrounds have been checked and everything has been approved. Item 2 is Nicholas Waterhouse being a transfer from Bayville to Manitoba Park. Received a letter from the Bayville chief saying that he's in good standing and had no problem with him transferring to Manitoba Park. Manitoba Park Fire Chief has sent a letter accepting the transfer. So the resolution's on the official. Mark Binns is 14.37 and Nicholas Waterhouse is 14.38. Item B is ABC person-to-person license transfer from Coast Whistle Stop Inc. to JGH Pier House LLC. This has been in the works for quite a while. They're taking over the Pier House. Pier House has sold their part, and all the backgrounds have checked out, and recommending awarding the person-to-person transfer, and that's on the official as item 14.39.
Thank you. Mayor, council, anybody have anything else to add? No. Okay, item number 8. Before we open the meeting to public comments, because of the COVID restrictions, we want you to remain at the podium. Any photos can be passed to the council by the CFO or the chief, and the meeting's now open for public comments. Geraldine, I think it's Kaiser or Reiser, I can't see the top. I don't know if the microphone's still on. Is it lit up?
It's on? Good evening. I'm here regarding where I live.
Oh, your name and address, sorry.
Oh, my name is Jerry Kaiser. I live at 119 North Stott Street in Bayville. I have a paper street next to my house. And in front of my house, there's a drain. And when it rains, I have a river. Recently, I don't know the name of the firm that came out to do some work.
Remington Vernick?
I believe that's it. They put a pipe in from the front of my property where it was off to the side to the paper street. And they dug this humongous hole. They put a drain in, and I asked them, I said, well, what are you doing? And they said, well, we're going to put a drain in, and we're going to let the water, instead of coming up your property, it would only come up to where the mailbox was. Now, this past drain came all the way up on that part of my property to where my garage door is. When I go to get the mail, I sink past my ankle. And I told the gentleman that was there, it was a very nice gentleman this time. And he said, we're going to try to fix it. We don't know if it's going to work. I said, did you let the people that's in the house next to me and the people behind me, because it's going to go in the paper street? He said, no. So how are they going to fix this? They have a big, I don't want to say the word, they have a big tree that's in the paper street that if any water goes near it, it looks like it's going to fall on my property. My mailbox that was put in, you go to lean on it, and you're lucky if you don't fall over.
Have you called the mayor's hotline or the administrator?
Oh, I've called everybody, and I don't know who I spoke to in your office.
I'm not sure if you spoke with Jamie Zimmerman.
That's who it was.
Okay, so
And her answer to me was, well, the water will go, and it will sink into the ground. I said, but if I wanted to sell my property, I can't be honest with the people. I can't say, no, nothing, everything's wrong. Everything's fine. You know, and it's only on my property. The drain is here, the water comes here, and it goes down my property.
All right.
Okay, I'll go out and look at it with Jamie, but the administrator?
Yeah, this is the first time I'm hearing on this one, but I will certainly get with the engineers and we'll see if we can, I'm sure we can improve it.
The gentleman that came from your firm this time was very nice. I thought I had his card with me. I left it at home.
Possibly.
John LeCompte?
John LeCompte.
Kind of blondish hair?
Yeah,
Is
he
he
was
older,
really,
or-
well, he's not older. He's like maybe in his 40s, 50s.
Go ahead, Mayor.
Send Steve Seiler out there immediately tomorrow.
In fact, Mayor Amato, it's right next to the people that I went to high school with. Their father was the teacher at Central.
So So is it clear, do we know the address?
Yeah, I have it right here.
I do have your address. It sounds like you've been in contact with our office, so.
Plenty of time.
We will continue to address the matter and work on resolving.
I'm not so much,
The
We'll get it
drainage.
taken care of.
okay, thank you. I'm not so much worried about me, but you don't notify the person that's in the lot on this side? You don't notify the person behind me that you're gonna have it go in the paper street and it's gonna go on their property eventually? I mean, that's not right,
Okay,
okay?
take a look at it.
Thank you very much.
It's gonna rain Wednesday.
I know.
All right, thank you. Donna Amon?
Hello, my name's Donna Amon. I live at 33 East Longport Avenue in Bayville. First of all, I wanted to say thank you for helping us to start this procedure for our flooding. And I was just wanted to know, what is your estimated projection that something will happen? I know we'll be patient, we have to be patient, but
I think we're just gonna start taking a bite off this apple as soon as we can. Do one thing, we'll do the next, and do the next, right, Ben?
Yeah, I think doing a survey assessment and getting an understanding of you know, what's drainage, if the drainage issue is based off of, you know, the stormwater and the volume of stormwater, or if it's more of a tidal issue, we really need to look at, you know, multiple issues when you're on the, you know, the water and you're impacted by tidal and you have high storm events. You know, there's a lot of things to consider. And obviously the existing homes and the elevation of existing driveways and garage floors is also going to limit what can be done over there. So really getting the initial survey done and doing an analysis of the drainage area is the first step.
okay, years ago, I couldn't even tell you what date it was. There's, you know, where the pump house is, it's on Bayview, and alongside that pump house, we were permitted, and I understand the property on the other side has an easement, and we were permitted to go out that way. You know, in, not every day, but in the case of severe flooding, and where people can't get in or can't get out. And like I said, I understand there's an easement on the other property, not along the pump house, but this is,
Do you have a picture of where you come out by the pump house?
yeah. And that's all the same picture. But if you could look into that as well, because at least for the time being, we could get out. You know, 2 doors away from me, Nelson Hartramp, he has MS right now. When it gets 4 days of flooding, he can't leave his home. He can't walk 2.5 blocks away. So we would really appreciate you looking into that.
You can actually see watermarks on some of the garage doors coming down there again. So you can-
No,
Right,
I
so-
appreciate your time. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Ellen McLean?
Hi, everyone. I'm Ellen A. McLean. I'm at 354 Coolidge Avenue in the Pine Wall section of Berkeley Township. So I have a vast interest to purchase Block 491, Lot 17, which would be adjoined to my lot. And so my understanding is that coming to the meeting and letting the board know what my interest is.
We
go
are
from
working on selling the adjacent undersized lots to all the homeowners, and as you can see by the agenda, we've been doing it, you know, and then we'll probably do a bigger auction, but
I can handle this.
It's already in the process. Hi, Mrs. McLean.
Hi, Lauren. It's nice to meet
finally
you.
meet you. I am working on this. My understanding was you were working on changing the deed to your property before I would send the contract over to you. We do understand that you have an interest in purchasing this, and you're the only adjacent property owner that's interested in purchasing this.
Right.
So I was waiting on that, if that's still what you're looking to do. If you're not looking to do that, I could send everything over to you for your review
I
and for
am
your signature.
interested in doing that. So I guess in my mind too, and I believe I did mention this to you on the phone, that the deed for my property and the deed, if I were to be granted to purchase the block and lot number I just mentioned, I would want to add someone else's name to those deeds. So I felt like, let's do that all at one time?
I can't do that to your existing deed, that's part of the problem. And also, it's currently, since you're the adjacent property owner and you're the only person mentioned on the deed, that's who the township can sell it to. So until that is changed, I can't draft an ordinance or the deed to reflect that other individual. Now, if you wanted to proceed with just you being the one to purchase it and then change it in the future, you can do that as well. But I can't make the changes to what the township is looking to present to you.
Okay, so I can actually, I'm fine with proceeding in that
Okay.
essence, to just leave my name.
Sure, I'll get everything to you this week. I'll email you a copy so you can review, and if you're okay with everything, you can either print it out or I can send you the actual documents to sign, and we can proceed.
Great, okay, all right, thank you.
Sounds
Thank
the
you.
easiest way to do it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Rich?
Rich Ryan, 912 Main Street, Bayville, New Jersey. I was happy that the discussion on the CAFRA and so forth for down on Main Street for the park. Looking forward to when that gets done. I want to apologize to Beverly and Department and to the Borough Administrator just for trying to push for it to be on the agenda. I didn't understand the rules of the council and the docket and so forth. So again, I wanted to just say that to both departments.
Come up anytime you want.
But here's the thing is, what this time was kind of like a little bit of a survey snapshot. I wouldn't say it's official or anything like that, but it does indicate the manhole cover at being 1.77 on the street. And then after the raise of the street, it's up to 3.77, almost 4 feet. So that's, I know I was here last month and I talked about it, but here's kind of like what shows it. So it creates a dam. And I've been told that, you know, it's going to be remedied and so forth like that. And I'm just nervous that it doesn't get remedied to the point where the flooding that occurs there is going to be allowing me to come in and out of my driveway without any issues. But
Which I think when we met, we actually stood on the higher portion there as we walked around.
Yeah.
And I did point from where we were standing down past your house where the 6x6s are stacked, and then, you know, for the curb.
Right.
And then up to the fire hydrant.
Perfect.
And I think,
Okay.
I did tell you at that point, we were gonna raise the road all the way to that point.
Okay.
And then the profile would go down into to the stone area, just like it is by Vince's house, and go right out to the bay. So that manhole that's in front of, catch basin in front of Ray's house, you know, it's doing no good. So that'll be taken out. And if you, next time, you know, when you go home tomorrow, just look and see, you know, as we discussed, if it goes all the way to the top, raise that whole road maybe 6 or 8 inches, it'll all drain down into the
Would that be
shoulder
a-
there where the stones will be.
Is, through the chair,
Yeah, go ahead.
President, would that be something that could be indicated on a drawing?
Yeah, that's the drawing person.
It would have to be surveyed, and, you know, we had discussed that, you know, that the intention was to get, you know, the permits approved for the park, you know, and it's just been, it's taking a little bit longer than we had anticipated. So we're still working on getting the park approved, and the intention was to bring up the road grade as well. We had talked about moving forward with doing survey of the area so it can be designed. and it can be looked at, so.
Okay.
But talking
But
to
let
the
me-
engineer tonight, you know, we would move ahead with this prior to the park, what a disaster that is, but
So
we'll
what,
do this and go out for bid.
okay.
It'd probably take 2 months by the time they do the surveys and bid it and whatever, at least.
Okay, but I will submit this to the council for records, and it's basically. So, the thing is just, the park is also, when a park's there, children go to it. So the notice is just so that the idea of a child going to the park, and if the road is flooded, we don't want to have a child drowning or stopped, or even a car getting stopped in the middle of it and not being able to turn around or get back. So the whole thing is making sure that the town is noticed that that street floods. Besides that is, if there's need to move this forward with the park or anything like that, I'm more than happy to go around and get signatures from the neighborhood from within a quarter mile, so that it could help get the park moving to a point where it puts a positive spin on it. I did speak to Remington today. I spoke with Alan, and I suggested putting out some types of rain gardens. He thought that was a terrific idea.
And where would the rain garden be?
You could put a rain garden down by where the fire hydrant is. You could put a rain garden anywhere along the line where you have issues with water, so that that it collects it, it drains.
Now, you know, the residents in that area, they had that area where the fire hydrant is, they actually had that raised, you know, through the contractor.
Right.
And they put 4 to 6 inch riprap there to prevent people from walking on it, that originally was going to be, you know, level with the road where you could walk out to the bulkhead. But as far as cleaning that up and putting a rain garden there, you know, I'm all for that. And that is one of the camera sites that
Well, one of the
is
things
going to be added.
by doing that is also shows the DEP that you are thinking about the environment, that you are thinking about the repurposing an asphalt area so that it could collect water and drain at its own pace without having to disturb any of the other areas that are pristine.
Well, I
So-
think the administrator and the engineer, John LeCompte, can bring that to the next meeting.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't think they're going to invite me back.
And then the other thing too is, I spoke with the assistant chief, and I do have that information. I just didn't find your email on the website. But basically, that's for Clammon Creek. I'll come over to you afterwards. Yeah, and then I'll show you that. But just to get back to the photos that are there was somewhere word that the photos weren't real or something like that. I think Beverly, you were saying something.
No, they just weren't dated. It's not that they weren't real, they weren't dated, so that they didn't know if it was like right after a rain or when it
Okay.
occurred.
I do
Everybody
have-
has copies of what you did send. I did print them out for everyone.
I have the photos originals here. They'll have a meta tag on them. The meta tag will tell you exactly the position, the date, the time, when they were taken.
I mean,
Yeah, I have the same photos.
I can agree. I mean, the road floods at 1.7 foot above sea level when the tide is high. The road certainly endures flooding.
The only other thing that
If you look at your image number 3, you can see the 6x6 I was
Right.
discussing.
Right.
So if the road did come to that elevation and then drain back into this meadow, or whatever you want to call it, and then the stone would bring it back to the bay. So if you can see right here, it's going to remedy it. And this is kind of an extreme day.
Right.
You know, so, you know, I think we're on the same page here.
Well, you're going to remedy the area which has been a deposit for waste concrete and so forth. So I don't know how you submit these to the DEP and how that's shown. It probably lists there, but if you could, you know, frame it to the point is that you're doing good, not just putting in a ramp. That you're remedying the beach, you're cleaning up the glass, the asphalt, the cinder blocks, the brick, and the wires and so forth, the trash that's there. So that would probably, and a rain garden, you're adding to the environment, which is kind of like the thing today with this, trying to make sure that the earth is better, and I think that would help.
You know, Rich, we do have a Waterways Commission, and I can notify you like a week prior, and I come to all the meetings, and you could come to a meeting and you know, Mr. McGrath is here, these guys are pretty knowledgeable, and, you know, maybe you could join them with some input.
But I have taken a couple classes with the state forestry and so forth, and one of the things I would love to see even down there is to get like white cedars, little saplings for the local schools to come over there and plant them. But even throughout the town, you can get so many different things through the state to make it, beautify it, regenerate it. So
Well, you
those
can see
ones-
where we're at, the DEP's requesting it come all the way back to the flagpole with the bulkhead, and that's, we're not giving up half of that park.
No, I mean, the only thing I could suggest is if you would either, I don't know if you could invite them to the site to see it. I don't think that would be the best place.
One person on
They-
the phone
yeah.
was out to the site, but I was
Yeah.
out there yesterday with the dogs, it was great.
Yeah, I don't know if you could do a Zoom from there, you know, with
We
some
did-
type of camera.
Yeah, so, you know, their concern was where they feel the established mean high water line is. Like I said, we've been working on permitting for close to 2 years now. So when the initial survey was done, to today, there has been erosion. The bulkhead's, you know, in a state of failure, and you know, our goal is to build an elevated bulkhead, build the site up, clean it up, bring in fill, and, you know, ultimately bring up the roadway as well, so it's more accessible. It is very unstable right now, and we've, you know, we're unfortunately at a crossroad with the DEP. We just need to come to some, you know, what we can live with as far as compromise with regards to
Okay.
the location of the bulkhead and the proposed elevation. So this is something that we're working on. Unfortunately, it's taking much longer than I would have liked. But you've been in contact with the DEP as well. I know that they've been somewhat responsive, but it took them a long time to go out to the site and inspect it, and now they have some, you know, some other concerns that we're trying to address with regards to the riprap and the condition of the existing bulkhead, so.
And with the low tide yesterday and today, if you come back 50 feet to the west of the gabions, you can see there's a row of piling there, so there might have been another bulkhead there at one time. You know, just take a look at that, but, you know, thanks for your time, and I'll let you know when the next waterways meeting is.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
Thank you, Rich.
Sure.
Anyone else wish to speak? Is there anybody on the phone that wishes to speak?
I was here at the last meeting. I
Need his name and
talked
address.
about the
I
two.
need your name and address.
Tom Deutsch, 5 Oceanport Avenue. I talked about the signs. I took a picture so you guys could see. All the signs are street signs, they're non-existent, other than Narragansett. They're
Oh,
there,
that's
but
the,
you can't read them.
Avalon?
Yeah, Avalon, all over, the whole place. I drove around today. I took a picture to show you. The other thing is, I need some clarification. We talked about the Airbnb house on 12 Avalon, and I was told here that, by John, that it's supposed to be a yearly rental. There was a change here, there's no, that's what we said.
I think somebody had indicated to, I wasn't involved in that discussion, I just thought that somebody indicated to, I think somebody indicated to, whether it was the
It's like 3
administration,
strikes and
the
you're out, or
administrator,
anything.
that it was going to be a yearly rental as opposed to like a typical
it's not.
Airbnb.
It's already had a week of rental, and the police were there last week.
We do have that animal house rule, and I don't think it was as easy as I thought it was, you know, with the 3 strikes. You know, it's kind of like 3.
Still advertised, 16 people, 10 beds. So I'm gonna go through this another year? I mean, has anybody gone to Airbnb to tell them the town's against this, what they're doing to us?
I know some towns are going to minimum 30-day rentals, which we, you know, we don't want to impact
Yeah.
the ocean front.
Ocean Gate, I think, has done that.
Think we could do that next meeting? I know one time you told me we couldn't interfere with somebody's living.
I'm not gonna give you a legal opinion up here, but we can discuss it during a legislative meeting, it has been discussed in the past.
Okay.
okay? At least something. I mean, so we don't have a party every week again all summer.
Okay, and John, you can get Vince over here to clean up these signs?
Yep.
Thank you.
So, if there was an emergency, I mean, the police and the firemen are probably, anybody went in there looking for something, they never find it. Although if you went over Narragansett, if you don't know where the things are, the sign's an O. That's
I
what
don't want to tell you I got lost in there looking for
That's
Avalon.
right.
You have somebody else with their hand up back there.
Young lady?
Hi, I'm Robin Rohr. I'm at 3 Oceanport, right next to Tom. And I do have an Airbnb. So I just want to make sure I clarify that we're not all bad. So, I mean, I've had no instances with the police in the last 2 years, and I hope you're not going to, take away our income. So
Do you do weekly rentals?
it's short-term rentals. That's what I've got my, permit or whatever you call it here for. So, but I follow the rules. I don't overstuff the place with people,
So
and
I guess you don't know that gentleman over there, huh?
No, I don't.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure they're not all bad. There's some of us are responsible owners. It was just
Well-
that one is just out of control, and he's right behind Tom. So Tom has to look at it all the time, and even my people have heard the noise and everything from there. The people that have come in for their nice weekend getaway, they don't want to hear that. They bring their kids, so.
When the legislative committee meets to do an ordinance, then it'll come to a meeting for the first reading, and you can have any input you want then.
Okay.
All right? Or the administrator can call you and let you know, which way
All
we're
right,
headed.
great. All right, thank you
We
very
don't want
much.
to hurt the good people.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Motion to close the public comment? So moved.
Second.
Motion to adjourn?
It's motion to close and adjourn.
Adjourn the caucus and then go into the official.
Okay.
So all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye, Pippa,
Do you want to switch with the council president?
Oh.
It's up to you if you want to.
Hey, Angelo, come in. I already took your beat. Oh, you can stay right there, Ed? Yeah, come over here.
Doesn't matter, wherever you are comfortable with. Okay. You can kick them when you need to.
Is this one I
Take your name tag. Take your name tag. Burns, counsel.
Great, thank you. He needs to be just. Thank you, Karen.
What?
Yeah, Take the papers with you? Of course he did.
Yeah, that's it. They do the dummy thing.
Yeah.
Yellow is everything.
Good, are we ready? Good evening. This is the meeting of March 22nd, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the applicable portions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law, adequate notice of this meeting has been given. This meeting is posted on the bulletin board located in the corridor of this building and published in the newspapers on January 13th, 2021.
Roll call.
Councilman Bacchione?
Here.
Councilwoman Gingrich? Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
I'm here.
Councilman Buccio?
Here.
Councilman Gross?
Here.
Council President Godano?
Here. Number 3, approval of the official minutes for January 26, 2021, and February 23, 2021.
Motion to approve.
Roll call. Second, I'm sorry.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bacchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich? Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
That's right.
Councilman Buccio? Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Council President Godano?
All right. Yes. Number 4, approval of the monthly reports as listed. Need a
So
motion?
moved.
Second? Second? Need a second, guys? Roll call?
Councilman Becchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich? Yes. Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli? Councilman Buccio?
Yes.
Councilman Gross? Council President Godano?
Yes. Number 5, resolution 21-137R regarding bills and payrolls as listed. A motion?
To.
Second? Roll call?
Councilman Becchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich? Yes. Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
Yes.
Councilman Buccio?
Yes.
Councilman Gross? Council President Godano?
Yes. Number 6, public hearing on ordinance 21-05-OA regarding an ordinance of the Township of Berkeley, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the acquisition of Block 45, Lot 1257, Block 568, Lot 1, Block 572, Lot 38, Block 572, Lot 32, Block 568, Lot 17, Block 571, Lot 26, Block 572, Lot 44, Block 562, Lot 1, Block 572, Lot 26, Block 568, Lot 45, Block 568, Lot 24, Block 568, Lot 11, Block 571, Lot 20, Block 572, Lot 1, Block 572, Lot 8, Block 572, Lot 14, Block 572, Lot 20, Block 573, Lot 1, Block 573, Lot 10, and Block 573, Lot 18 from OCA EAN and Company in accordance with NJSA 40A:12-5A1. The meeting is now open for public comment on the ordinance. May I have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt?
So moved.
Second? Roll call?
Councilman Becchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich? Yes. Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
Yes.
Councilman Buccio?
Yes.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Council President Godano?
Yes. Number 7, public hearing on ordinance 21-06-OA regarding ordinance of the Township of Berkeley, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, to provide for and determine the rate of compensation for certain employee titles and establishing the method of such compensation, recreation, hourly employees. The meeting is now open for public comment on the ordinance. May I have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Becchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich? Yes. Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli? Councilman Buccio?
Yes.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Council President Godano?
Yes. Number 8, public hearing on ordinance 21-07-OA regarding the ordinance of the Township of Berkeley, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code so as to amend Chapter 7 entitled Traffic, Stop Intersection Georgetown Drive and Lamenton Drive. The meeting is now open for public comment on the ordinance. Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Becchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich? Yes. Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
Yes.
Councilman Buccio?
Yes.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Council President Godano?
Yes. Number 9, public hearing on ordinance 21-08-OA regarding an ordinance of the Township of Berkeley, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing a lease agreement with Berkeley Township Historical Society and Company for the property located at 759 U.S. Highway Number 9. The meeting is now open for public comment on the ordinance. Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt?
Make a motion.
Second? Roll call.
Who seconded that?
John.
Councilman Becchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
Yes.
Councilman Buccio?
Yes.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Council President Godano?
Yes. Number 10, public hearing on ordinance 21-09-OA regarding an ordinance of the Township of Berkeley, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code so as to amend various sections of Chapter 35 related to stormwater control. The meeting is now open for public comment on the ordinance. Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Becchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
Yes.
Councilman Buccio?
Yes.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Council President Catania.
Yes. Number 11, public hearing ordinance on 21-10, OA, regarding an ordinance of the Township of Berkeley, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code so as to amend Chapter 7 entitled Traffic, No Left Turn. The meeting is now open for comment on the ordinance. Seeing no one, I may have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt. Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Becchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
Yes.
Councilman Buccio?
Yes.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Council President Catania.
Yes. Number 12, introduction to ordinance 21-11-OA regarding an ordinance of the Township of Berkeley, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the vacation of portions of Northern Boulevard and Western Boulevard, abutting block 530, lots 1, 2, and 17. May I have a motion to introduce?
Make a motion?
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Becchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
Yes.
Councilman Buccio?
Yes.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Council President Catania.
Yes. Number 13, introduction to ordinance 21-12-OA regarding an ordinance of the Township of Berkeley, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the sale of block 1403, lots 1 through 20 on the municipal tax map to Mark and Deborah Stackpole in accordance with the provisions of NJSA 40A:12-13B and NJSA 40A:12-13.2, Balsam Drive? I said it right finally. $17,100. May I have a motion to introduce?
Make a motion?
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Becchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
Yes.
Councilman Buccio?
Yes.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Yes.
Council President Catania.
Yes. Number 14, resolution 21-138-R regarding consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve item numbers 1 through 39, resolution numbers 139-177? May I have a motion, please?
Make a motion?
Second? Roll call?
Councilman Becchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
Yes.
Councilman Buccio?
Yes.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Council President Catania.
Yes.
So I have two add-on items. The first is Resolution 21-163R, authorizing the appointment of Class 1 officers and their attendance at the Police Academy.
May I make a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Becchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
Yes.
Councilman Buccio?
Yes.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Council President Catania.
Yes.
And the last item, I believe, is Resolution 2-178R, or 21-178R, demanding that New Jersey Natural Gas complete its replacement of the natural gas pipeline along Route 9.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Becchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
Yes.
Councilman Buccio?
Yes.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Council President Catania.
Yes. Let's make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.